we had made it to the monastery. We went through a various trial that kind of went through more of the lore of the land. It was pretty interesting to see how it went and how we were kind of reenacting it, basically. Um, After that, guy that I think everyone else was a bit more attached to than I was came with a horde of goblins and a few ogres even. It was a very tough fight. Luckily for us, we had kind of befriended those mountain cats. Sadly, one of them did not make it. That's very sad for me. But at least the other one's still alive. It was a very tough fight. We captured... What was his name again?
Valeros.
It's right there, Valeros.
Yeah, Valeros. We got Valeros. I still think he was after the herbs for his sister. I do genuinely believe he's there to help his sister, but I think it was definitely more of the ends justify the means kind of deal. That's why I'm kind of cool with us not killing him. I knocked an ogre off of a bridge, and
Oh, yeah.
But all in all, we'd stopped him. I think we're in the Master's good graces, and it seems now we're just licking our wounds, fixing things up, and then potentially making our way back to Cinderfall.
Some pretty hefty wounds at that.
Okay, as everybody got his blood pumping during this fight, Talius suffered a critical blow by Valeros, but was saved right after by either Valen or Madeline. I'm not entirely sure of that. And then Valeros dropped onto the ground. You guys managed to get hold of him so he doesn't fell from the bridge, and you got your hands on his gauntlets, the gauntlets of overpower that Madeline allowed Talius to have for the blows that he suffered from this fight. And now Talius wields the power of an ogre. Valeros is tied up and on the monastery that is still in a bad shape due to the bolt lancer and the other ogres that were raiding it. You can see Master Talarn that comes right by your side and sees you keeping the hostage of that human in the distance.
Well, as much as I'd rather be rid of this guy, going up, just right up so I can at least see the good master. Can I continue? It was an attack on your monastery. In the end, he used to be the one to decide his fate.
I have never seen that man before in my life, but you stopped him from raining more havoc on this place. Do you know him? What do you know about him? I see that you have not killed him yet.
He knew him as Valeros. Sought a cure for some strange illness his sister had. Apparently, he was willing to go to any lengths for it.
So much blood spilled upon the bridge. It is nice to see that you, even when you could strike the final blow, you decided to show mercy, or at least for now. Every time that I see you in action, you keep surprising me. Must say that I am very happy for your visit, even if that might have caused quite some trouble, as he points out to the landscape of the monastery, saying, you said earlier that he might be following you. I see that he might have been after those herbs that you were as well. It is sad that I cannot provide more than one every year.
This makes things difficult.
On the other side, what is Madeline, Dalius, and Valen doing?
I'm sitting on the floor, trying to
Yeah.
catch my breath.
Pretty much the same thing. You know, she'll stand up a bit and be like, you did really good, Valen. But, oh man, that was awful.
Well, I really hated that Valeros can't also benefit from this, but you know, who knows about his motivations? It's very troublesome.
Had he been willing to talk to us, maybe we could have worked something out, but we're a bit past it.
You should rest. The human seems that he is in no shape to wake up, and I'll make sure that he doesn't get away before you have a say in this.
Is that the master saying that?
Yes, the master.
Master, if it's not much trouble, do you happen to have a shovel?
I do have some gardening tools, so I believe that there should be a shovel in the backyard.
Alright, thank you. I need to make sure somebody is properly laid to rest. And she'll kind of motion back to the crag cat.
I will help you in that. These cats, these feline predators of this land, have always been kind to the visitors of the monastery, and they show their wrath against those that threaten the stability of this place. Go inside. You may take rest. Let me do this as a way to allow you some time to recuperate. You have done way more for me than that I could ask. Allow me to take the burden of putting those creatures into a grave that properly fits them.
Alright.
And you see Master Talan going back to take a shovel and will start piling those corpses one by another. Even the goblins, he will bury each and every one of them. Though, as I said earlier, he might be old, but he is in a great shape. He's a monk, after all. And you're inside on the monastery, taking a very much needed long rest. Valeros is put into one of the rooms that the monks used, but the door is locked. The key is left with you. You have the key to this room. I'll assume he'll give it to Hearth, being the one that was closest.
Alright. Make sure everyone gets in. Don't think I need to lock it, considering the only person here that would do us harm is being restrained.
You find the halls of the monastery empty and all for yourselves. This night that was cut down to short by the raid of the monsters is now back calm, peaceful, and after some time, Talius manages to complete his trance while Harth, Valen, and Madeline are all resting. If you want to do something before resting, feel free. No, yeah.
I'm good.
Nothing in particular. She's just gonna meditate off over the horizon for a little bit.
Okay, so Talius, you are the very first. Okay? Talius, you are the very first that wakes up. And you go outside of the room only to see Master Talon has put all those goblins and the Krakad into rest, into the gardens of the monastery. You see that he has removed his shirt and now he's topless, and he is sweating very much from the exercise, but you see that he looks back at you, puts his hand in his face to block the sun that is now shining a little bit upon this mountain monastery, mountaintop, and he waves towards you before putting his shovel back in his back and approaching the monastery back again.
Is he done with all the bodies?
Yes,
like all
yes.
buried? Oh, okay, well,
It took
Always
him
back.
a good 4-hour mark, but he did it.
yeah, I'll wave back. Anyway,
Okay. I'll assume you will descend down the hall of the monastery since everybody else is sleeping.
yeah,
Okay. Going there, you see Master Talon has already prepared some breakfast, some soup and some pie is on the table. As he sits by, the man smells from doing all this work, but you are a fighter, you are a traveler, you have smelled worse than that. He sits by and he excuses himself for the strange odor, but what had to be done, had to be done. He will then
course.
say, I'm glad you were here last night. There is no way that these people could not have raided the monastery without making a mess out of it. You were here to stop it. It's the way that you fight reminds me of the other seal that I saw back back in the years.
really? This Ansi was his name? I've forgotten.
Yes, Ansi. He was quite vicious blade dancer. He moved with. He didn't strike much as a strong fighter. Neither he did strike me as a very dexterous one. But the way he wielded his blade was something unique, almost like an elegant maneuver. Like his strikes were guided by his sheer personality, his sheer charisma.
He sounds very like my mentor back in the day. I was aspired to be like him. Which was about 10 years ago, yes?
Something like that. It was quite some time before the blade was stolen.
Ah, yes, of course. Before the blade was stolen. Anyway, I'm sorry I could not help with your cleanup of the earlier battle.
Oh, please. This is only a mundane task for me and something to do for a day. I'll assume you'll be leaving soon, so it is not like many things up in here. Getting some handiwork from time to time might be exhausting, but it is also very, very welcome.
We'll be back again to give you more handiwork at some stage, I'm sure.
May I ask, what are your intentions towards the man that you know as Valeros?
Honestly, I do not know. I feel a little betrayed with the way he treated us and all. But I don't know. I'll have to ask the group because I don't want to be the voice for his. You know, I don't want to be the one to decide his fate on my own. Doesn't seem very fair.
It is very harsh to play God with one's life, knowing that you have. It is a different thing in battle. In combat, you sometimes strike at your enemy before it strikes you down. But wielding the power over him, control over his own life, That, to some, might be unsettling. To others, it can be intoxicating. A true guardian of this monastery knows better than to um, play God in those situations.
Of course. I think the main question I want to know is why betray us, you know? Like, we were helping him. He told us about some kind of vault he was looking for, and just left one day. If it was very urgent, we maybe could have helped him. I guess I
The
have to wait
blade
for
that
everyone to wake up.
the blade that strikes first is usually the one that has not much thought behind it. Always beware of the blade that strikes last, because that has not only thought behind it but motivation.
That is very wise of you.
Excuse
I'll
me
take the
now.
seat.
I'll go take a bath while we wait for the others to wake up. I shall make some more um, dishes for the others. I assume they will be very, very hungry.
I'd say so too.
And with that, Master Talon leaves the hall for him to go wash and make some breakfast for the others. As Valen, Madeline, and Hearth, you all wake up and follow down on Talia's footsteps, wearing those monastic robes that Master Talon has left for all of you to adorn yourselves while you are in here. And you join Talius. The master of the monks is still not present as he is taking some time for himself, but you all find yourselves at the table with multiple dishes being served.
I give a nod as they come down. Good morning. Quite a morning at that.
Did you decide to wake up early?
I don't really sleep. I don't need to. So I had to get a early breakfast as well.
Fair point.
Did you all sleep all right?
Just fine.
Good.
I feel refreshed. I feel like being here at the monastery of the Green Mist. I feel like our adventures already it's helping me grow as a person. But I'm really upset at Valeros teaming up with a bunch of not very nice people and fighting us. I can't think of what his motivations might have been to do those things. I understand he might have wanted to save someone, and I hope that person can be saved. But
People will do many things for family.
I'm very curious what he offered all those monsters to come attack this place. After all, I doubt they wanted the herbs to save his sister.
That is
So-
true.
Not odd to me that he was commanding them. You notice that they immediately fled once he fell. The ogre didn't do anything to him, and Valeros took the bolt launcher.
And the problem with some of them fleeing is that some of them know where this place is.
True as well. We should probably tell the master's place just to be sure.
Perhaps
Yeah,
we
we
should
could
ask
back.
Valeros just to see what he offered them as well.
That would be very wise.
yes, if we weren't doing our best to get back to the village, I'd suggest that we track those things down. But now that we have the herbs that we need, I think we should get going. But I'd like to have a good talking to Valeros. Boy, I'll tell you what. But is he even in a condition to speak?
Maybe a good night's rest help him wake up a little bit. I'd say he's definitely not in good shape, but but it seemed he wasn't completely gone.
If he's not in the best shape, I think the group has proven capable of healing some injuries.
True, true.
Are we taking him back to Simnafall with us?
Well,
I cannot leave him here.
yeah, I don't think that Master Talon here is equipped to be a jailer. But who knows? Maybe someone at the village also knows Valeros. Maybe he's attacked them before with a host of helpers. But as long as we don't mistreat him on the way, he should make the trip. We just have to make sure he doesn't have any weapons and can't escape. I'm afraid I don't know much about chaining people up or tying people. I don't know much about that. I could tie a rope around him, but he'd probably just dance right out of it.
I'm probably the same. You have a knack for finding magic sources, don't you? You might have something on him that might let him escape, or a secret dagger somewhere.
Well, that could
Wouldn't
be
hurt to
true.
check.
I remember the battle. I think I checked that out, but let's eat our breakfast and then go get that fella.
Sounds like a plan. Would you like to take the brunt of the conversation with him? Because you seem the most emotive towards this. You seem the most, dare I say it, the most hurt by his betrayal.
Well, I don't know. I think if we all agree that we can be bringing him, I don't know that I'm good at interrogation. I think I'd just ask him, and if he didn't tell me, I'd stop. I don't know that I have I don't know that I have the fire for that type of thing.
I have that in many different ways.
That is true. I guess we'll do it as a group. Can't hurt if everybody asks.
As long as we agree that we're bringing him back, and that we're not just gonna, stab him right there where he sits.
That's good with me, of course.
I cannot promise that myself.
He's probably best off if we leave him alive, If we were to bring him back, maybe he's a wanted criminal for some reason. He already lied to us, he probably lied to others.
So,
You finish up your breakfast and head over towards the room that Valeros is being kept. Hearth, you open that room, the door with the key that Master Talon gave you, and you see Valeros inside, adorning the same monastery robes as you guys are doing, and a bowl of soup in front of him, as you see him beaten up, but eating. As he hears the door opening, he turns towards the gate, and as the door opens, you see him almost caught by surprise by you heading over there. He chews off a little bit, swallows the food, and turns to you and says, "Well, that is rather an unfortunate turn of events for me. That is sure. But I mean to thank you for not taking my life. I don't know if I would have done the same to you."
Somebody has to be the better man.
He looks towards Hearth that he aimed with his ogre bolt, a crossbow, whatever that is. Well, I assume you have many questions. Allow me to spare some time from you and answer some that you might already hypothesize. When you guys said about the herbs, I thought there is nothing magical on him anymore. The gauntlets that he had was the only thing that excluded any magical presence or aura. And back again at Valeros, the herbs that you guys mentioned seemed like a fine choice, a fine thing for me to acquire for my sister. I didn't know if you were going to stay at the monastery, so I had to rally those goblins and those ogres and come as late as I can. Hopefully that you will not be there. I stand correct. In another situation, I might have given some more time, but I'm a man that is in a hurry to save his sister, and that now has gone down the vent.
How did you manage to get them to work for you anyways?
It is quite simple, really. Ogres are big bullies. Bigger bully shows up, and they follow his commands. They are very stupid to understand that strength is in numbers. And same goes with the goblinoids. With the gauntlet, and he points towards Dalius that he wears. With the gauntlets, I had the same power as they did. The only difference was that I'm a skilled fighter. It didn't take long enough to throw some punches, put on some bruises, and convince them that I am the alpha of their gang, of their tribe. The ogre that you finished, it was a runaway ogre of my, let's say it army, if that can be called an army, stopped by four people as you, quite special people though, to be fair.
Why lie to us?
Go.
I don't understand.
You seemed that you all had your personal reasons to take those herbs, and I don't believe that they would be servable. I have never heard of items as such before, and the monastery is a place that seems more safe than a vault. I asked you when we were in the cave, Talius, remember? I asked you what do you think about those old beings that live in the depths, the great old ones, they say. They say that the vault I am after is touched by beings as such. I am not sure if they are the same, but I've heard that they are from the lower planes of existence. I don't know if that would mean demons or beings from somewhere far away, but the monastery and the herbs that you guys described to me seemed more like a possible outcome to help my sister.
I mean, but you could have talked to us. We could have worked something out, and I even think if some of us had to choose between the headmaster or his sister, some of us would have chosen your sister. But I don't think we can choose that in all good faith after what you did last night.
And I understand how that is fair. However, putting that question on you, it was a risk that I could not take. I came in here expecting to get those herbs, and I could not take a no for an answer. It was stupid. It was irrational of me to raid this place. I understand how I am at fault, but I justify my motivations behind the love of a sibling. I don't know if it will help me sleep at night or be at peace, but if the times were different and if I could turn back time, I cannot say for sure that I would have done differently.
Valen, what do you think we should do?
Well, Valeris, where is your sister at?
She is Beyond the Green Highlands, where the Elvenlands lie, it's not that far from here, but it is quite some days' journey.
And,
It is near the marshlands in the north.
and what exactly is afflicting her?
She is suffering from certain dreams. Dreams that do not allow her to wake up. An infection, probably. No healer in the nearby vicinity has managed to find something that works. Every day she grows weaker. I just wish that I could end that condition for her.
Well, attacking monasteries doesn't seem to be the way to do things. I don't know if that lesson might sink in now, but you can't. You talk about bullies and ogres. You can't just go around bullying people. Some days somebody's gonna bully you right back. I guess you found that out when you fell down.
A fitting end, wouldn't you say?
I don't think it's I don't think it's fitting because your sister is still out there suffering. It didn't end for her. If it had ended for you, then what hope would she have had? You gotta realize you got responsibilities.
He turns his gaze away from you, Valen, and looks from a window that is up top. Not a window that he can escape through, but a window nonetheless, having bright light through this place. As he looks there, he continues on to go on his monologue, saying, I'm not entirely sure that if I were to go back, my sister would be still alive. There is a fair chance that she is not. But when I embarked on this quest, I put a mission on me to find a cure, to find something that would work no matter the cost. Even if she's dead, I had to try and intended to keep my promise that I would find something that would help her. If that something was to come way down the line and she would be dead, it might have been for nothing, but at least I would be true to my promise.
Have you attacked any other places? If you walk into our village that we're heading back to, are they gonna know who you are? Have you attacked them before?
I've only raided a Dragonborn tribe. The Dragonborns were tough and valiant fighters, but it was a forum. No more than 10 of them were in this place. I had good notice of a Dragonborn shaman on this place, but that proved to be a wild goose hunt.
Well,
After that, I set aside for the vault, and I met you in the process of that.
well, you know what? We're going to try to save someone. You know, I don't know how much you listen to us, but we're going to try to save someone. And the guy that we're trying to save, he knows a lot of things. He may even know how to help people. What do you think about that, smart guy? We're going back and we're going to try to help a powerful mage. And if he feels better, then he could be the key to helping your sister. And if we had not been here and you had not been so selfish, that guy could die. And with him, any knowledge that he could use to help you and your sister would have gone too. You're not so smart. Maybe you need to think more about doing wise things instead of just doing things.
I guess I am not smart after all.
Well, you're not, but we're going to find out a little bit more about you, because we're going to take you to meet that guy. And I hope that you're telling the truth about that village, because when we walk in there with you, if there's a price on your head, then I don't know that we're going to stop anybody from collecting.
I am astounded that you still want to help me after all of this. I do not know what to say. I have wronged you in more than once. I first cheated you. I tried to use your information against you, and then I even attempted to kill one of your. Yet you show kindness that is unparalleled to what I've been trying to show my sister. I am not a better man than you by any means. I don't even know if I deserve the second son. If you will have me, I will take.
Well, we're not going to have you, but you're certainly going to be tied up walking next to us. And if anything attacks us, you better hope that they don't get to you, because you won't be able to defend yourself.
That is
Let
fair.
him go.
What did you say, Harth?
Let him go.
And how would you know that I'm not gonna come back and try and get the herbs from you again? If you let me go.
Simple. We give the herbs to him.
And he kind of looks like surprised, amazed, and not sure how to respond. His jaw drops, unable to process this. He then turns to look at the rest of you to see if you are in line with what Hart says.
You want to give the herbs to Valeros or the headmaster?
Valeros.
Well, what about the mage back at the village? We made a commitment to him. That's why we're here.
You do not know. We already know that his sister is dying. We do not know if whatever is afflicting the headmaster is fatal. Possibly save one life, or certainly save a life.
We don't even know if the herbs work on his sister. And I'm still not 100% convinced he even has a sister at this point.
He laughs when Madeline says that. I guess I should have seen that coming. Fair dagger, but I do have a sister.
You'd have had no reason to go this far to such extreme length if it wasn't for someone very close and important to him, like a sister.
That is strange. Yes, that is actually true.
And we should just reward him for attacking a monastery? People died last night.
Mostly those he convinced to work for him.
But what if it was one of us? He didn't seem to have any issue with it. And if we give him these herbs now, that just tells him that he can do this again and spin up a good enough sob story to get what he wants.
Oh no, if he tries anything like this again, I'll burn him alive.
We don't even know how the headmaster contracted this disease, this thing. Do we? He was just
Nope.
in the cave.
You know that before he was in the cave, the kobolds found him, or at least brought him with that disease, with that poison on him, unable to neutralize it. Madeline thinks that it is something very important.
Valeros, how many days travel is it back to your sister?
Should be no more than a week, less even.
I mean, if we do save the headmaster, he may not know. He may. I mean, he may know what made him contract this. You know, like something in the forest. He may know. He may be able to help us. Maybe help your sister as well. I mean, if you come with us and we talk to him first, you might be able to see the symptoms, see if it's the same.
He looks at all of you and very much starts about what all of you are offering him and how you are at least approaching this scene. Well, then I say, if I were you, I would go for the safe choice. Save the headmaster. You can be of help to my sister. That would be great. But when I left my sister, as I said earlier, I didn't know how long she would have. She was weakened every day that passed, and I only suspect that she has gotten worse. This is kindness beyond what I can expect and what I can repay, not only with wealth, but allow me to have the courtesy of doing something right. Save the headmaster. That would be more than a fair punish for me. As he says punish, he turns towards Madeline. He says, I know that I would have done the same if I were in your shoes. The headmaster has a legit chance to survive this. My sister probably does not. You don't have to fall down the same sinkhole that I have by chasing this promise. But if you do want to go and help my sister, I will not stand against it, obviously. It will be very much welcome. I just need you to know that this can be a fruitless task.
Madeline thinks for a bit, and then she just kind of sighs out loud. Guess it's gonna be a while after magical. And she'll look back to Hearth. I'm fine with using the herbs on his quote-unquote sister, but we're not giving them to him. If we're giving the herbs to his sister, we're going with him. That's my condition.
I am fine with this.
Valen,
I guess.
what do you think?
I think that we need to go to where we can do the most help and the most good. And I wonder, all this travel, I wonder if the master of this place might be able to help us. Who knows? Maybe he's got a secret tunnel through the mountain that'll get us there in an hour.
Maybe you could teleport us there, yeah.
Teleportation? Wow, that's crazy.
Somehow I
You never
doubt
know.
that.
I suggest, Valeris turns towards you and says, I suggest you have a talk with the headmaster. You don't know what his intentions might be concerning me. So, I'll leave you to it. Thanks for stopping by, and I appreciate that you understand my intentions.
Oh, don't worry. After your sister is saved, if we can save her, we're taking you to the authorities.
Fair enough. So you go back and find Master Taller on the hall, reading upon some books, checking on some notes. As he turns towards you and say, I see you visited our other guest. So, how was that?
Confusing to say the least.
Confusing, conflicting emotions.
Well, now that we're away from him, we can decide without any interference what we want to do.
So, what do you believe it should become of him? You said something earlier about his sister that would need those herbs.
Yeah, his sister might have the same problem as the headmaster back in Cedarfold. And we don't know who to give it to anymore. I mean, I was pretty certain on the headmaster, but just because he is a bad person does not mean his sister is.
Now that's another
Life of
thing.
another.
Who knows if his sister is even worse than he is? I mean, his sister could be some type of tyrant ruling over the land. But
It
Oh, no,
wouldn't
that's
matter.
fine in the making. Don't worry about
Well, I am not here to decide it for you. This is among yourselves to decide. I was not the one that stopped him, hence I have no power over him. In ancient times, where the guardians of the monastery were here, they would put invaders, bandits, and all of those into some forced labor in the monastery. It seemed to help those said bandits to empathize and find purpose. Many of those became actually monks in this monastery. In ancient times, as that they would put them for months or even years to work in the gardens of the monastery or in the halls or in the library. It was an interesting approach that benefited many. But and he closes the book that he is reading in front of you. But this is not. These are not the times that the monastery is right now. This is something new. I did not have a single raider over the last 10 years approach, or at least that the crab cats wouldn't scare away.
like I said, we're not going to give him the herbs. As much as I want to believe that his sister needs it, I still need to see that he has a sister. And I don't want him just running off with them and selling them. I'm still fine with either, but if we are to turn him into the authorities, maybe it should also be at his hometown as well. Let them deal with him. And then if his sister hasn't made it, then we can just head back to Cinderfall.
A fair point.
Valiant effort to save a stranger for you. I'll give you that. But you always have to wait in the fate that you leave those behind. You were not instructed to save the headmaster, but you have a fair chance of doing so.
Hmm.
While the celestials that we study in this monastery are all parts of a good aligned deity. The monks understand that there is law and tradition that must be obeyed before any actions are taking place. You obviously cannot scale or weight a life to see what its value is, but you can always understand the risks of your actions and how life is unfair sometimes. You are forced to make a call that many of you might agree with, many of you might be stigmatized by it. Be careful on what fate has in store for you.
I'm just not sure to think anymore. I certainly don't approve of Valero's actions, but I can't say I wouldn't have done the same for my family either.
Perhaps we should leave it to fate then, and Madeline will pull out a gold coin. If we can't decide.
That is fair.
Well, my own search for knowledge is not going to stop. I'm gonna keep on looking no matter where I go to learn things and to try to figure out what's the right thing to do. And here, the right thing to do is not so easy to figure out. We need to help people. That's what I need to do anyway.
Aye, and either way we help people. So we might as well leave it in the hands of the gods.
Personally, I'd rather just at least try to help the sister first, but
I think it's all complicated because we don't even know if these herbs can help the sister. We don't know if these herbs can help the mage back at the village. We just don't know these things.
Right. But it is best we make this decision now, so that way we can help them as soon as we...
That is very true, yeah. The longer we wait, the worse it gets.
Aye. So if we can't decide, I might as well.
I can't recall. Have we talked to the headmaster of this monastery about this condition that's afflicting the mage?
He's here. I think you told him last time that he was poisoned very much so by potent craftsmanship.
Okay.
By that, if you mean if you're sure about the effects of the herbs on the headmaster, then I would say that from the two stories that you have heard, the girl that's having bad dreams and is weakening every day, and the headmaster being poisoned, obviously those herbs make, from what you have heard and what you have seen, more sense in terms of the headmaster, but they have very potent regenerative abilities. They could buy the girl more time, or they could even heal her. You do not know that. You know for sure, though, that the headmaster would probably recover with powerful herb assets.
And how long would it take us to get back to the village to the headmaster?
3 days to go back to Cinderfall.
And a week to get to his sister.
Yeah, something like that, like 5 days to go to his sister.
Well, I feel like we know the headmaster is there. We know that he is ill. We've talked to the people in the village. We've been there. We came up here in the first place. The whole reason we're here was to try to bring those herbs back. It seems like the whole village depends on that guy. And here we have somebody that's consorting with ogres and goblins and bullying people and doing, desperate acts, and we don't even know, we could go back to where he tells us to go to help his sister, and, it could be just 50 goblins waiting for us. But if we go and help the headmaster, then we tell him about this condition, and if we find out that the sister is real, then a wise guy who's traveling all over the place, traveling up and down the mountains, he may know something about it. I just don't know how smart that guy is.
Well, if he's the headmaster of a visiting school, he has to be very intelligent.
We'll just find another way to save him. Or save whoever we save second. We'll save both of them. We're just deciding who to save first.
As much as I hate it, if we have to decide who to save first, then we should go for the person we know we can save.
He's also the person we set out to save. I don't think changing our minds is a good idea, like he's a well-respected man in the town as well. I think
If only we had some type of guidance. But again, we know certain things are real, and we're dealing with a lot of things that we don't know if they're even real at all. But we know that headmaster's real, and we know that if we save him, well, I can't say that he'll be in our debt, but certainly he might be happy with us. He might do us a favor. Maybe he knows all about this other place where Valero's sister supposedly is. Maybe he knows something about poisons and afflictions himself. I have to think he'll help us if we help him.
I agree.
Sounds like we've decided then.
Aye. Cinderfall it is.
And the headmaster, the headmaster of the monastery, the grandmaster of the monastery, chimes in to ask, and what of Valeros? Are you taking him back with you into Nelford?
Yes, we can't expect you to hold on to him. We should keep an eye on him.
Well,
That being said, I'm still adamant that when we take him in, we take him in at his home. So we'll have him around for a little bit.
Fair enough.
If that's fine with you, Valen.
I'm fine if we turn him in. I hate to think that his sister, if she's real, could be hurting and dying. We already know that Valeros is at least a little bit sneaky, so we're going to have to keep an eye on him.
Aye. But that's why I'm saying it. We're not going to turn him in at Cinderfall, per se. Once we save the headmaster and we figure out what we can do, we can at least take him home.
That actually makes a lot of sense, because if he's telling the truth about his sister, and he sees that we helped this headmaster, and he sees that we're going around and doing these things, and maybe the headmaster can help us at that point if we take him back to where his sister is, back to his home or his place where he's from. That does make a lot of sense. That makes all the sense. That's what we're going to do. You're right.
Then it is decided. I will go inform our uninvited guest of your plans. If you want to go to Cinderfall the fastest way, uh, you should be leaving anytime soon. So I'll see you out of the front door to say my remarks and bid you farewell. I'll get the human ready as well for traveling.
Appreciate all the help. Thank you for having us here for so long.
Okay. We thank you again, Headmaster. And like I said, it'll be a while, but I'll be bringing a new student your way.
As I said, from the time that you set your foot in here, only the best things have happened. Who knows? At some point, you might be the ones that bring the blade of Nahalion back at this monastery. If that is such a case, then I'm gonna have all of my monks pay for this. He says in a laughing manner. And Talar goes on to prepare Valeros. You go back upstairs where your rooms are and pack up your things, get ready, pick up some supplies, some rations in the meanwhile for the trip. You need, it is 3 days, so now that it is 5 of you, you need a total of 15 rations. There are enough rations in the monastery for you to pick. Just decide it among yourselves who is going to be carrying some of them. I know that Talius has got quite a boost on his inventory capacity now.
I was gonna say, I could take the brunt of the... Take them all, actually, I'd say, if they're not too heavy.
Mm-hmm. I think it's like 2 pounds each, something like. Yep.
Yeah.
It'll be 30.
Yeah, that'd be fine, I'd say. I hope.
After that, the Grandmaster takes you out in the monastery, brings Valeros with him, and as he does so, Valeros now adorning the monastery robes, and if you guys want to pick your robes, feel free to put the robes of the monastery on your items. If you don't want, you can leave them back here. This is entirely up to you, if you want to have them or not.
Well, if he's letting us keep them, I might as well.
Yeah, I guess I'll do the same.
Okay. I think it's like 2 pounds per robe. There is a robe on the compendium you can drag and drop on your inventories. And you can see that he, with himself, he brings a rope with him as he moves towards you. And with that, he says, I now bid you farewell, my good friends and visitors. It has been great to see you approach this monastery and for all your good deeds. This rope, and he passes it in front of you, giving it to Madeline, I'll say for now. This rope is one of the items that the monks of the monastery all are equipped with. I think it only suits that since you are the guardians of the monastery, at least for that time, you may embark on your journey with such an item as well. And Valen, once the rope comes close enough to you, you can already see the magic that glows from within the rope. This is not a common rope, this is a magical one. It is a rope of climbing. I'll put it to all journal, but I'll assume that Madeline has it on herself. It should be on the journal of the items.
Cool.
Ah, I like that.
It's very kind of you. Again, like, he's...
A token for your help, at least. It can be used to tie someone up as he looks at Valeros with a small smile on his face, or to help you reach new destinations or heights. I only do hope to be a part of your ascendance with this. And as he says that and gives it to you, Madeline, first Valen, then everybody else, since all of you have the same past perception, you see back from the monastery where the sun is and pouring sun rays through the mist, you see a pair of green eyes. They have Valen, they have the same shining bright pattern that the day that you came back from the Mellow Woods into Cinderpool and you saw that bright green flash. These are the same kind of lights. Yep. As you see them, the lights both disperse and become a part of the mist. Yet the mist is moving towards you. As you sit there idle, Valen, the mist comes around you, almost like a small cloud appears in front of you, cloud of green mist. And as the cloud puffs and disperses, a book appears in front of it. You put both of your hands so it doesn't fall onto the ground. And as it appears, you find a book with celestial writing upon it. Though you are not entirely sure on what it says, it seems like a god sent a gift. Master Talarn takes a step back and sees that and is quite astonished from what he is witnessing, impressed even. Valerius drops as he looks and sees this divine gift bestowed upon Valen.
Do you guys see this?
I definitely do.
Incredible.
Very fancy.
Wow. I open up the book and start looking through it, looking at the celestial writing at this book of radiance. I'm gonna have to study this thing.
Hey. Master then looks at you and says, I have not seen something like that before. Consider me impressed.
Well, it's coming from the green mist, and oh look, there's even something about green mist in here. What do you know? Huh. So, I guess I was supposed to be here after all. If only my path forward was so clear.
It is strange. Though the mist protects us and has a magic in it, it has never bestowed gifts even to its truest champions. This is not the work of the fallen celestial that resided in this place. This is something new, something else. After all, the divine essence of a fallen angel, of a dead angel, might still lurk around this place, but it cannot create something new. I believe someone wanted you to be here. I believe somebody sent you here. Whoever that being might be, it seems its intentions are aligned with the guardian of the monastery, the legend, and the icon. I bid you farewell. I wish you a good journey and thanks towards Madeleine. I'll keep that oath of yours that you made, that you will come back with another student, and I will be expecting you to come by.
Aye. Until I see you again.
Many happy returns. As you, again, the branches of the monastery make a bridge to the other side of those rocks, and with that, Valen, Madeline, Talius, Hearth, and now Valeros moves towards the mountainside. Do you have Valeros tied up, by the way, or he's free moving?
I'd say just like his hands. Like,
Oh,
like his hands are tied together, but he's able to
Okay.
move his legs around. He's not super restricted.
Yeah. It is not like an entirely comfortable for him, but it is enough for him to be able to do things by himself. He follows all of you. As he moves with you, he will turn to Valen and will say, "So, what is this book that you have on your person?"
Well, I'm not exactly sure. It seems to be a informative book. I can't say that I've learned a lot of things just from studying magic books before. I'm gonna have to look and see what it says, and I think I have to spend at least a minute or two looking at it. But it seems like a good book.
This whole trip is getting even wilder by the second. Do not forget where I came from, and I certainly have not lost sight of that. But there have not been many exciting things that have happened to me in my life. Seeing that makes me only want to marvel in that wonder that I have upon me, in front of me. You start your trip to the mountains. The sky is clouded, yet there is no air, no wind in the travel. That makes this a very, very easy walk for you. You move not at twice the pace, but you move fast enough while you don't have wind against you or pushing you and taking you to disadvantage positions on the mountainside. You make camp a little bit before you leave from the green fog, the green mist that surrounds this place. Once you put out some campfire, that hearth immediately ignites and lets the flame run loose. Valeros, we then ask you if it is all right with you, and if you guys want to, know a different way through those mountains, a faster one, but it goes straight through the camp that I had with the ogres and the goblins. I don't know if they will be still there. If there is one way to repay you for the kindness that you have bestowed upon me, I'll take, as I'm taking you as adventurers, I have the map of the vault in this place. I probably was not supposed to find it, but someone with gifts as divine as yours might be able to crack the mystery behind it. So, what do you say?
As tempting as that offer is, I'm still not entirely trusting of you.
That's fair. That's fair. I can stay behind, and they do not have to see me. I doubt they will follow my commands if I show up tied up and without my gauntlets. Anyways, I can point you towards it, and that can work.
I mean, do we need to get there faster? I mean, I don't know if it's worth the risk.
It's not like we're gonna skip a day entirely, but we will have some head start to get to Cinderfall. Might make it in 2 days' time, but we'll be there before dusk.
What is everyone else's thought on this?
Can we tell if he's lying? Can we
You can roll an insight.
If anybody else is as proficient in insight, I could take the advantage. I'm scared of rolling a 2.
Oh, I am.
I am.
proficient.
Feel
Can
free,
be.
whoever wants, feel free to roll that.
There we go.
That is okay.
Sure enough.
Okay, so
Thankfully, you had advantage.
No.
I'll assume
Oh my
that's
god.
the aid, quote unquote, action. This is like somebody else is also trying to incite Valeros, so I'll take that 16. You see that Valeros right now probably speaks the truth out of guilt more than anything. He feels like he's not deserving what you guys are giving him this second chance, and in his own way, he thinks that he can assist you or give something back to you.
Well, he doesn't seem to be lying this time.
Do we take his advice?
I mean, my best chance of saving my sister after all now is if you manage with the help of that mage to figure out a solution.
Fair point. I don't see. Well, I don't see much harm in trying. I've already beaten the ogres once.
All right.
Okay, then I will show you the path tomorrow morning. Now I'll try to rest as comfortable as I can as he laughs and tries to pull apart his binded hands, but only in a joking manner. He then says, thanks again for letting me sit by on this. As you all go to rest, let's roll a random dice to see. Okay, so while Madeline, Valen, and Hearth are all sleeping or getting rest, and it is time for Talius to keep watch on this place, Talius, you start hearing a woman moaning and weeping and crying in the near vicinity. It is clear as day for you that you can hear that and the cries for help or cries of agony by that feminine voice.
I wake up everyone instantly.
All of us because Madeline's having bad sleep.
Everybody can hear this not screams, but those cries, the pain that whoever that is near your camp is obviously going through right now.
All right.
This
Stay
is
close.
concerning.
Stay close. Valen, let's check it out. Talius, just be ready in case it's something that it doesn't seem to be. And Madeline will take point.
Okay. Moving forward and trying to find out from where this is coming from. Madeline, you start approach, and behind you, everybody else. After following that sound for a couple of minutes, you see at the edge of this mountain top, you see a woman dressed in a blue veil, but it is ethereal. You can see through her. It seems transparent. She seems to be weeping. She turns her gaze towards you, yet she does not see you there. And again, time and time again, this woman continues to weep in pain.
A spirit.
spirits a bad thing? Are they nice?
Ooh.
Are they...
It depends on the spirit. But decisions.
Is she in any trouble, or is this just what spirits do? I never experienced this before.
It is a first for me as well.
She then starts talking on her weeping call. Please help me. Where is my child? Where is he?
That does not sound very menacing.
But this is just something they'll do. But Madeline will pull out a priest pack and just set out some candles and I'm going to pray over her for a while, if you don't mind. It's not going to do much, but maybe it'll help in the long run.
Take your time, of course.
Okay. Madeline, can you roll me a religion check? Okay. You, from taking up the candles and starting your prayer, you start to remember words that you have heard from clerics teaching about spirits that are trapped in this plane of existence. Spirits that are trapped in the material world and have never made it to the afterlife. Spirits as such continue to haunt their the territory that they were slain until they have finished their business, they've gotten closure, and embarked on the afterlife. A spirit as such is being tormented by this experience, this process. They relive again and again the same emotions that they had by the time they were slain.
Okay.
She'll get up a bit. She'll kind of relay that. The problem is just exercising the spirit. But she'll move forward like a step. Ma'am?
As you do that, the ghostly lady turns towards you and quickly flies towards your side, hovering above ground. She grabs you by your chest and says, "Help me! Where is my baby?"
It's alright, it's alright. Where did you last leave your baby?
She was here in my arms. Did you take it? And she kind of then takes a look around, sees the other three people that are in the distance. Did you take my baby? And you see that she's kind of becoming furious, filled with anger. The colors changes from blue to red for just a matter of seconds.
We only wish to help you find it, ma'am. We don't know what's going on. That's why we asked. We have no idea where it is, but we'd like to help you find it.
Madeline, make me a persuasion check.
You're supposed to be good at that.
The ghost is not at all convinced with what you're saying, and with that, she turns to sees everyone around her. Her eyes flash with bright yellow colors as her skin turns a little bit further into that furious color of rage as she unleashes a horrifying vision. That means that everybody must wait. Yes. Make me a wisdom saving throw.
Wisdom. Okay. Ooh. Perfect.
That is a high.
Perfect. 2.
Talius and Madeline, both of you not only are frightened, but roll me a d4.
Look.
Madeline's only for 10 years, and Talius does not really experience a difference. Like, you're aging for 20 years, and Madeline is aging for 10 years.
Oh my god.
You see your skin, Madeline, quickly start becoming a little bit more rough. Your movement starts weighing you down. You look at your hands, and you see a small wrinkle on them. You're unsure what's happening, as you are seemingly afraid of this ghost right now, both you and Talius. Giving that Valen and Hearth are not afraid of this creature, I'll give you a right to do something for Madeline and Talius. I don't know if you want to attack her or talk to her. It's your.
Oh my god.
I would have liked to help you, ma'am, but you've made a terrible mistake in hurting my friends.
And will you unleash magic upon her, or do anything, or just intimidation?
Hmm. All right, let's see which one. Well, at that level, I get a run free casting of Burning Hands on her, so let's see.
Okay, you move a little bit closer to the ghost, and you invoke fire towards it. Ghost will fail the save, but still is resistant to it. And as you start burning the ghost down, the creature yells, "You took my baby!" And at that point, I want you all to roll me initiatives. I'll put you on an encounter map, and we'll see how that will go. Click on your tokens as well.
Oh, here we go.
And in terms to make more sense, I'll assume that it was something like that. If that's the mounted peak, Madeline came near, Valen and Dalius are a bit behind, and Hearth went close to burn her. And that should be it. The ghost made the visage. Hearth, wow, we are playing it in correct turns. So, Talius, your turn.
I don't know what to do. I don't want to hit a ghost with a sword. Like, I guess I'll draw my sword and just.
Are you frightened?
Are we fighting this thing?
Are you
Are we
frightened?
fighting these? Oh, I'm frightened. Yeah, actually, I can't go near him.
Oh, yep.
So I will. I guess I'll move back away from him, or her. I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Probably just behind Valen to hide behind someone. And that'll be my turn. Got nothing else.
Talius, roll me a wisdom save.
Alrighty.
That's a success. I think 13 was the DC, right?
Yeah, 13 was the DC.
Yep. Okay. So you move a little back from Valen, and you shake off yourself and see the creature again in its less enraged form, yet still furious with you mentality, and you're not longer frightened. Valen.
Well, it looks like we're in a fight, so I'm going to Shining Blast attack.
Okay, that's a hit. Do I have any abilities? No, I do not. But that does full amount of damage. Still As Valen sees Madeline grow older with a second, he turns back and shoots a ray of shining blast towards the ghost. Madeline, your turn.
Alright, well, since I'm frightened, I'm just gonna take the disengage action and just get away.
Okay. Make me a wisdom save. Yep.
Nice.
Okay, and you manage to shake that frighten of you. Yet, if I remember correctly, the aging effect remains, right?
Yes, it does. Unless I get it like a greater restoration in the next 24 hours. So, I mean, but it's not like a significant aging because now she's just like in her 30s.
Hearth.
I haven't changed like at all. I got another like
Yeah, I mean,
700 years.
elves only change from teens to adults and from adults to right before when they die. Like a little bit. You change when you.
Yeah, just a little bit of change, but
Just a little bit.
I got a few more years on me.
All right.
Okay.
300.
Hearth, your turn. It's okay. Play before the ghost. I'm fine with that.
Right. Gonna go for a magic missile as a second level spell.
Okay.
11 damage total.
As Hearth moves his hand up and four bolts of magical energy appear, and each of them strike down at the ghost that is infuriated with what you are doing to her. You took my baby! I'll take you! And goes near Hearth and will try to touch him. I assume that's a hit.
Yep.
For 16 necrotic
Oh,
points of
God.
necrotic damage. As it does, and you see Hearth drain, a life source is drained almost to the ground. Hearth starts falling down to the ground, puts his hand to stop himself from getting prone, and only manages to put himself back up.
Ooh.
Dalius, your turn.
Looks like a whole lot of damage. I will. Actually, do need a frontliner. I'll run up. To where Hearth is beside him. Up. And I will take. I'll cast Booming Blade. Is
Okay.
Just a regular melee attack. Can I say this? Is that how it works? I can't. Okay.
Roll me that attack.
My longsword, one-handed.
That's a hit.
Lovely. So it's just the regular damage, and then I don't know actually how I'm supposed to say,
Okay.
like, you know, the way you can show the group.
Don't you have a booming blade on your character set? If you click it, it should be appearing.
I just can't seem to. I can cast it. Ah, there we go. Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so energy appears in Talius' weapon, and as you move and strike the ghost, you see some of the energy being absorbed into its skin, and it transfers throughout her whole visage, ghostly visage. As she turns her attention towards you now, Talius. Anything else?
No, that's the end of my turn.
Okay, Valen.
All right, I'm going to try to scoot around to get a better look. And diagonal, and then do the same shining blast again. Try to hit this thing.
Okay. And that's a hit. Ooh,
That's
that
better.
is a lot.
Ooh,
Nice.
nice.
That's a lot of radiant damage and force, not a radiant, force damage going your way. As Valen again raises his hand and shoots an cracking energy beam to the ghost that afterwards signs from the hit. And, Madeline, your turn.
Gonna move up to her. go within attack.
That's a hit.
But wait, there's
Alright, there's
Oh
more.
my god.
And that is a
Ooh.
pretty high roll. As Madeline looks at her own body, unknown, without knowing how to reverse this effect, and almost letting her anger get the better of her, she runs towards the ghost, and as it strikes it from the blade, radiance and holy energy emits. The ghost disperses into thin air. And you can only hear a vague whisper, a vague voice, and "Bye, baby."
Spooky.
well, last time I do that.
That was impressive.
I think my hair got longer, and
That's a little different.
she'll turn around and it instead of it being like shoulder length, it's gone like even farther down. It's like, damn it, I gotta fix this.
And Hearth, are you all right?
That was a hefty blow.
Yes. I'll be able to manage. Just
Yeah. I'll cast a Cure Wounds on Hearth just to help get him back up.
that's only better. Thank you, Madeline.
It doesn't look like I aged too much. Though, I suppose now my older sister is my younger sister, so that'll be fun to deal with.
Gosh, we've got to get back to the village. We've got to get back to Cinderfall.
Aye, that we do.
But we may still need some rest.
Aye. Let's finish up where we left off and get a move on.
Where's that rascal Valeros?
He's in the camp wherever you guys left.
Yeah.
Assume that he's still there. Don't worry. Okay, you return, you rest for a little bit. Madeline, you still are getting familiar with some new features from yourself. Your horns have grown a little bit, your hair is longer, and you probably cut it down with your blade to a size that you're more comfortable with. Your tail has even grown larger, and maybe you've put on a little bit of height.
Uh-oh.
A little bit, but yep. And the very next morning, when Valeros wakes up, he sees Madeline. He's like, "Whoa, what is going on?"
Oh, well, you see, my name is Madrigal, and I got aged. Don't worry about it.
Huh? And he turns to look at the others, thinking that this is some silly prank.
She's not lying.
Ghost.
A ghost?
Yep.
Wow. Things never stop surprising me when I'm with you, it seems. Right, I'll show you the way. Do you kind of turn towards Madeline, seeing that she's not an elder, but she just suddenly became elder than before? So, do you need help? No. Right? He's unsure of how to approach this. Maybe No, you're younger enough. Sure, I should not have said something.
Oh, well, I mean, I'm still fairly young. I'm just not a young buck anymore, you could say.
I'll lead you to that camp of mine. If you want me, I'll stay behind. If you want me with you, I'll be with you. It's up to you entirely.
I'd rather you stay with us so I don't lose sight of you.
Fair is fair. And he'll move with you. And Quite some time after descending those mountains, you find yourselves hearing shouts and voices from the goblins and the ogres that are below you. I'll put you on the map. They have not seen you, yet you do see them. You see the ogre bolt lancer that ran away from the fight. He does not have his weapon, obviously, and he still has some bruises on his skin. The ogre in here is also a little bit in pain. Yeah, you have long rested. This is only, it didn't take more than a minute. So it says that it can take a few seconds in combat. It does not block the long rest. And you can see some goblins and the goblin boss. What light do I have? Wait, I'll put daylight on the map since it is day. Should be fine now. And yeah, you see the squashed fire in that made up fireplace. You see a tent, and as Valeros walks by to you, there, this is my tent. The map is in there.
I can try and
Oh.
sneak in. Or do we want to storm this place?
I mean, even if we don't want the map, the path is through that camp.
Which through it? Oh yeah, of course.
It will save us probably a lot of time.
So I guess the question. I don't know how reasonably we could stealth through, to be honest.
Well, maybe if they see us and we scare them, maybe they'll remember the last time they saw us.
That's definitely an idea.
Hearth, I don't want to be insulting, but sometimes you can look pretty scary, buddy.
Of course.
That's fair, but I don't know if they'll flee their own camp.
Yeah, they will not
If
have anywhere
anything,
else to
that
go.
might just give them more reason to attack us.
As I said, I can try and talk to them, but I do not know if they will hear me.
I mean, we do have a
There is-
rope.
There is always trying to pick them off in their sleep.
That'll take even more time.
True, but it gives us less to work with. Or less to do.
I also see a lot of flammable materials in the area.
Alright, so what's our plan then?
What's the drop like from the little mountainside to the tent? Or is there even a drop?
There is one. It is like
Yeah.
30 to 40 feet. And not 40 is way too much, like 30 feet.
30 feet. I mean, we do have that rope. That's tying up Valeros, but we could lower it down. I could try and sneak in, get pulled back up.
Still doesn't change the fact that we have to go through them if we want to follow down my path.
What about the this place to the left? Actually, I'll take a look. What's the drop like there, or is that even a thing?
I'll say that it's pretty similar, like 25 feet or something. But the way that Valerius is pointing is you have to follow this way. in order to
Okay.
go.
Yeah.
Completely the path.
So it looks like fighting's our only option. If we talk to them. You could talk
We
to
can
them.
try to beguile them to leave this place. I don't know if they'll hear me. They might hear you. You could demonstrate some of your fighting skills. If you can convince that he points at this ogre, this one will probably be the leader of the gang here. The other one doesn't even have a weapon, so if the goblins are listening to anyone's commands, that should be Glukdak. That's the ogre's name.
Blue stack.
Alright.
We could try it. Maybe I could try and fight him one-on-one, see if we can intimidate the rest. That's Madeline, you would like to try and, you know, put up your boots and one-on-one him?
Either or, but I do think it might be best to be ready to just take down the rest of them.
Of course.
Alright.
But if he does agree to just fighting one of us, I mean, it might be enough to scare off the others and not risk the bigger fight.
It's worth a try at least.
How do we go about trying this?
Walk in the front door and ask. I mean, Valeris has already done that.
So do you want to take them on, Talius, or should I?
It's entirely up to you, my friend.
Talius is the one with the gauntlets.
That is true.
True.
I could always pass him over. I mean, I presume whoever's wearing the gauntlets definitely has a bit of a...
They do require attunement though, so you cannot give them and then get them back. If somebody else attunes with that item, you cannot attune back to it.
I mean, to show that we have these gauntlets shows that we defeated Valeros and they respected him a lot. Maybe it's just enough to intimidate them.
You'll probably need to fight him, but you may be able to take him. Who knows? Though he does have a mean hand.
Hmm.
Alright. If you wanna give it a try.
So, what are we voting for?
I suppose I do not have a say in that, so this is entirely up to you.
I don't want to be disingenuous. If we walk down there and you lose, we're still going through.
That's true, yes. I mean, if things get a bit hairy, I mean, the worst is we fight them all.
Yeah. Probably take down most of those goblins. Especially if I'm staying up here, I have the high ground.
That too, yes. We go up, you know. If I start losing, we can turn it on them quite quickly. It is more, you know, to protect them than us, you know. He has a nasty swing though, as Valero said. I'm not sure.
Do you have any weapons that I can use? The Grandmaster was suspicious enough of me to not let me keep mine.
I'm not sure we are trustworthy enough either. After the last thing we pulled.
Yeah, I think probably you can just sit here, and if we lose, then you can run or you can bargain with them.
I'll do that.
Does anyone have a spare dagger?
Oh yes,
I do.
Or Hearth does.
That should be more than enough to defend yourself if you have to run.
He picks up the dagger and makes some finesse moves with it. I see. Thanks. I'll put it to good use. So he kind of goes towards Talius, dusts off a little bit from your gauntlet, and says, "Just go there and walk like you own the place. If you appreciate that, then challenge it. And probably the ogres are stupid enough to fall for it."
I appreciate the advice.
Been there, done that. He turns towards Val and Madeline and Hearth and laughs. Okay.
I think we should all walk up anyway, and I'll just inform them that we are walking through, and there's no point
You
in
can
trying
take
to stop
cover
us,
up
but-
here for Valen and Hearth, as well as Valeris. You can all take cover up here and kind of look from afar. if you want to move further, you can even follow Talius up there. But you
I'll
should
go
be
down
okay
with
up
you,
here.
Talius.
Cool.
Alright.
Appreciate it.
Okay, as Talius enters the close proximity of the ogre and goblinoid camp, the ogre known as Gluktak turns toward them and says, "Ha! Where does the other think he's going?" And picks up his great club on the ground and starts moving towards you.
I'm
Yes.
walking right through, my friend. You recognize these? I'll show off the gloves. Yeah, the gauntlets.
Okay, make me an intimidation check.
Not great at that, but I'm also not terrible. Let's hope for the best. Intimidation, where is it?
I mean, having those
Oh.
gauntlets lowers the DC, and as you put off your gauntlets, you see the ogre fall down flat on its ass, going prone. The other gauntlet takes a step back, and all those goblinoids start running a little bit further. As Guldak drops to the ground, he picks up his great club again, and he says, You are not tough enough. I shall lead you. We are many. You are a simple elf." He goes back to his feet.
Not
But
tough
he also
enough.
takes a few steps back.
My friend, I defeated the one that had these before you. Of course I'm tough enough. He
The
defeated you?
goblins- All of the goblins start laughing. Gorklak is not strong. Gorklak. And the ogre turns to them and roars, shouts, "Shut up, you goblins! There's you! I'll take those from you and I'll show them to your mouth after." And the ogre picks up its great club and moves toward you. You
My
can roll
friend.
initiative, Tali. Oh,
Okay.
go ahead. Go ahead
I was,
first.
no. I guess initiative works. That's fine.
Okay.
Roll that. I have to click my character first.
The ogre is
Oh
not
my
really
god.
good
I
at
was gonna say I can't roll lower than that, but I actually rolled a 1.
that. And Madeline, Valen as well. You can roll me. I'm not gonna count them until you want to play, but up until then, you can take hold actions and stuff like that while Talius is having his encounter. Pretty much, if there is a hold action that you guys want to take for this fight, let me know before Talius.
Valen's going to do a held action for a shining blast to any creature other than that ogre approaches to try to interfere.
Okay. Hearth.
You know what? Could I possibly set, I'm guessing that's hay or something like that down there?
Yes, it is a flammable object.
Yeah.
I think you have to use create bonfire. That would mean that you will be spotted. They have only spotted so far Talius and Madeline.
Yeah. It's fine. Like I said, I have the high ground.
Okay, so do you cast create bonfire or do you take a hold action to cast it?
I mean, if you'll allow me to take the held action, then so.
Okay, I'll assume if something goes fishy, you can let me know. You can use your reaction to cast it. Madeline, do you want to take a held action if something goes wrong?
Just like Valen did, if anybody other than that main ogre tries to interfere, I'm going to throw a javelin at them.
Okay, Talius, you're first.
Okay, I'll seems like he's in a mood for a fight. I'll run up, take a swing, booming blade, slash,
Okay.
pop, and the attack.
Ooh,
Yeah, baby.
That is one hell of a hit.
So I will whack. Oh,
That's a hefty hit. As Talius runs toward the creature, picks up his blade, and as it sinks with booming energy, it strikes the blade through the ogre's guts, and the energy starts manifesting and spreading from that place, almost rendering it immovable. Anything else? Do you want to move? Want to go somewhere? Or
Do movie hit me? Could hit me. Increase. I'll move back a step. I'll let the opportunity attack try and smack me.
okay,
Careful.
this is the opportunity attack, but
Miss.
it misses. As you hit the creature and you take a step back, the ogre swings its great club, but the attack goes wide. The ogre starts moving toward you, but it will first have to suffer 1d8 points of damage, so roll me 1d8.
Let's roll 1d8. 7
Ooh,
damage.
that is a lot. That ogre is not having fun from this, as it will try to whack you with its great club one more time. You die now! 15 hits.
15 hits, yeah.
And
15
you
points, okay.
put your weapon to resist and mitigate the blow, and as you manage to soften it a little bit, the ogre sees you are alive after that, and you can see an expression full of terror on its face. I'll assume you all take the same hold actions. Talius, your turn again.
Bonus action, second wind. So that should be 1d10. I think, is it still 1d10? Just make sure.
1d10
Run
plus three.
D10 plus your fighter level.
D10 plus 3. Get back 12.
Ooh.
Not bad.
Okay. Almost like this attack never happened. And
Booming blade again, I guess, and then where is it? Long sword, 24.
that's a hit.
Swing, 10 damage. Action surge. I'll take another swing.
Okay,
16.
that's a hit.
Level
Yep.
8. Oh, another 8.
That is enough. How do you wanna wipe the ass of this ogre down of this place? Let us know how.
I just I just slash back, forth, and then just one quick swing, take off the head, straight off.
Okay, so Talus takes a step back, quick 2 swings as the ogre starts dropping to the ground. The last one goes far up like an uppercut though with his blade, and the creature is headless. And all those goblins are running amok. If you want, you can try and kill them off one by one as they run away, but they are just running.
I'll just let them run.
I'll let them go off as well.
Yep. Not enough time passes by before all those goblins are away. And Valeros moves towards you and congratulates you. Saying, you did way better than I expected. I'll say that those gloves fit nice with you.
They have a bit lot. Gotta say that went pretty well.
Goes above the ogre's corpse. And say, he was not even one of my favorites. I really did not like this one. But yeah, the map. Let me grab it.
I'm gonna watch him real close.
Gotta say, Tally is really impressive.
Thank you very much, my friend.
Valen, as you go near Valeros, he says, please, the map should be inside. I'll take my distance. If you... and he drops the dagger onto the ground. Valen, you go inside the stand. There are some rations that have been getting ruined over this time period. There are some others, some water skins, some water barrels, some things like that. And you can certainly find the map that Valeros showed you earlier on.
Okay, well,
Just write it down in your inventory.
okay, and I don't bother with the rations or anything. Water skins I'll give to Valeros that he can carry his water.
Okay. Well then, that happened. We should be tomorrow night we should be arriving in Schinderfall.
Guess we keep on moving then.
Okay, so you continue on for the rest of the day, moving forward towards Cinderfall. Valerius guiding your way. Now, since you gave him the dagger earlier on, I assume you're not putting him in restraints again, but you always have your eyes set on him.
I think we're making him carry all the water.
He's carrying some water skins and a barrel full of water from the goblin camp. And as you move further on, he will turn towards Madeline. He'll say, I see Dalius is a fighter of sorts. Karth is easy to distinguish. And from Valen, I'm not know where exactly to put him, but I see that he has a divine connection of sorts. But in the battlefield, I saw you doing some things I have not seen from many be able to do. And yes, I am talking about knocking that ogre off the bridge. How do your powers work?
Well, part of it was learned, part of it was taught, but part of it is devotion. And she'll pull out the holy symbol she's got. This is sort of like what Valen has, except this one requires me to actively engage in it. I serve the Yellow God in a bit of an alternate sense. I was trained by Red Knights, even though my fighting style is very different from them. But essentially, it comes from my belief in it, and me going on these beliefs, engaging them, doing what's right, and bringing you here, helping is sort of like that. Helping them, helping the headmaster, and then after we help the headmaster, helping your sister, kind of fuels that power.
And while I understand what you're saying, I've seen not many, but I've seen a Red Knight in the past. And believe it or not, you that happened though when you were away, Madeline. You casted a cure wounds on him. Back again in character. I have been healed more than once by Red Knight, or at least a former one. That's going to. Yet this was not the same feeling. Because the first time I was healed by a Red Knight, my wounds were almost scorched, like cauterized by flame. You appear to have a gentle touch, a very strange one.
Part of that is my restraint as well. Believe it or not, while I try to come up as calm, I have trouble with my own anger to not give in to what I am, basically.
Wow, that I didn't know that could have an impact. That surely was an interesting feeling. It was quite unique. I'll leave it at that. I know not many things about how the divine work, but you seem to be on their favor, gaining their favor. That is more than one can ask.
Hopefully they'll return it as well. I would like to complete my personal goals, but the life I've chosen has me realize that it doesn't come first anymore. And that's fine. But right now I am just focusing on helping you all, and hopefully it leads to finding the person I'm looking for.
Fair enough. Valen, you pick up the map, and again, now you have no cartographer skills, if I remember correctly. None of you had no cartographer tools even. From the readings of it, I will need an investigation, but the DC is pretty high. I'll assume being near either Dalius or Hearth, somebody can assist you, or you can assist someone else.
Well, I'll call somebody over and see if anybody can help me with that. Maybe they're better at investigation than I am.
Hmm.
I could
Okay,
take a
I
look.
can-
Okay, now Talius and Valen, okay. You combine efforts, but it is very hard for you to find out where exactly this vault could be. You understand some symbols, probably the grave of the Dusk Blade. You may be able to decipher even some clues about the monastery, but it is hard to place the vault where it should be. There is some sort of a riddle, or like a puzzle made in this particular map, almost like if the path to the vault is blocked by a certain gate.
So this is interesting, but it's not what's in front of us right now. And again, maybe that headmaster, maybe he'll know something about the whole Duskblade. Oh well.
During camp later on that night, you take watch, knowing that next day you will be arriving at Cinderfall, and you shall be very close to by that time. Valerius is taking rest, as right now outside there is a particular interesting film. Stars are being scorching through the sky. There's a star from eminence, and you can see all of you are looking back at the human that is sleeping and missing this great piece of scenery, while all of you can see the northern lights and stars flying through the sky. It is a day marked by many as a very gracious one and a beautiful one. Apart from all the time that you have been on Earth, you have never experienced such phenomenon. That is, you have heard legends about it from the surfacers, but again, this is the first time you experience something like this. For Valen and Madeline, this is not a known thing to occur, but you probably have seen it given the northern places that you live, being in Nunnery.
Look at that. He's crazy.
But it's always quite the sight.
You ever get used to this kind of thing?
Even as someone who has seen it a few times now.
It's
Beautiful.
incredible. Lovely.
It's the little things you gotta appreciate, you know?
The beauty in life itself is...
Aye. Appreciate while you can. One day you're fighting an ogre, the other day you knock one off a bridge, another day you age 10 years. It's always a travel, always an adventure.
Could all be on
Gotta
the same
take
day
these
as well.
moments. Oh yes, definitely. That makes it more exciting. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
As Madeline, you gaze upon the stars. You've done many times. You are not particularly familiar with sky maps and star maps in order to navigate between constellations. Yet this time, you are certain that you'll see something you have never seen before. It's almost like a symbol of the infinity. A snake biting its own tail can be seen up in the air. You can certainly see it, and for some reason you feel connected to it. It almost feels like this symbol is presented there for you.
She'll nod a bit, just kind of like thinking over it for a moment, and then just kind of stand up. And, well, boys, I'll wish you good night in a bit. I'll have to take some moment to think to myself, but I think I might turn in.
Enjoy.
And she'll go off to just kind of like reflect on it off in the corner. And just kind of like picture that image, that constellation in her mind over and over again as much as she can to like burn it into her memory.
Okay, I'll just say that you write it down on your own personal diary. You even sketch it. It's almost like the symbol of Ouroboros, the world serpent that eats its own tail and ate sideways. The rest of you cannot see this particular constellation. It's not something that you experienced, yet Madeline seemed the only one to be able to notice it. You have some fun talking about some constellations that appear in the sky. So maybe Hart at some point will say, "Oh, that looks like a flaming bird," or "This looks like a flaming elephant," or "This one looks like a flaming fish," which to probably Alan would respond to something like, "Not everything has to be burning."
Can I just give him a very confused look?
Okay. While Talius, you also gaze upon the sky map, looking at all those stars that you know that the Queen of Argondor herself, the matron deity of the Seldarin, or all Elvenkind, works in mysterious ways, yet through her domain, the stars and the night sky, you feel blessed, you feel revoked, you feel the energy pumping through your veins, knowing that tomorrow is going to be an important day. Something is going to happen, something is going to take place, something good. You get that feeling in your chest.
Nice. Feeling good.
After a little while, you all fall asleep, taking some time for yourselves, and the very next day you continue on your journey to return back to Cinderfall. It's half a day travel. It is a clear day, and it seems as if the gods have blessed you with another day of good weather. As right before the sun starts to rise, right before the sunrise, you return to Cinderfall. Valeros is right there with you as well.
Well, we made it back. Ugh, long journey.
Well, can't stay for long, but let's bring the headmaster those herbs and then
Aye.
get ourselves prepared for the journey.
Question is, how do we go about using these herbs?
You know, that's a good question.
Well, there's bound to be
surely-
someone who knows.
Surely the tower has somebody that's proficient in medicine. If not, we can figure
Even
it
then,
out.
there's enough books in there that could give us many an idea of how to use it.
Possibly. So they'd have someone skilled with alchemy.
As well, yes. Well, guess we go check now, yes.
The sooner the better.
Let's go find somebody.
Let's go find
Moving through the city streets, you see many people are still concerned. There is a certain element of uncertainty going on around the townsfolk, the common folk. Many of them seem upset, many of them seem unsettled or uneasy with the whole situation in the town. There are whispers going around the roads as you walk by, and all of them look at you, not knowing what you bring to the city back from your travel. Not many of them actually know your quest, but all they see is the return of two of the most exotic travelers that they have gazed their eyes upon over the last years. Hart and Talius, with every time they come into the city, accompanied by Valen and Madeline, seem to bring new hope. And that continues to be quite a trend, seeing you that you bring a human with you. And you can even hear a whisper. Maybe he's a healer. Maybe he comes from. Maybe he's one of the monks. No. They have all gone extinct. Nobody lives up in the mountains anymore. Somewhere else, near the garden, the people stop doing whatever they are doing with Pendra's blood. These very specific plant-like flowers that are a sizable quantity. They all stop and look at each other and seem intrigued by your presence back here. As Valen walks in front of you, being the face of optimism as he most commonly is, some people nod towards you, give you a gesture of goodwill, and quickly you find Artosis. You go near the School of Magi, the School of Evocation, and you see Artosis almost on the process of locking the place up for the night. As he moves, as you move towards him, he spots you and stops, locking the place up. He says, "You seem to have returned. Do you bring good news? And who is that traveler that tags along with you?"
Oh, just somebody else that wishes to speak to the headmaster.
Don't mind
we
me, says
found-
Valeros.
We found the monastery. We got the herbs.
Are you for real? Wow, this is
Sure,
amazing
Paul.
news. Wow. Yeah, I'll get the elder, not the elder. I'll get the alchemist, the herbalist. Well, one of those guys might be able to prepare. I'll meet you back here. Nilovar is in the town, inside, in the building inside. He's still not doing very well. Whatever that poison runs in him has seemed to be spreading there. I'll go fast to bring on the healer. Quickly, a fast-paced scenery. The wizard picks up the village herbalist. And you all go inside to see Nilovar sitting on a table. Some bandages are put onto him. Most of them have a vague greenish or even pink color variation, and there is a certain smell that comes from this place, flowers, and a very nice one. You feel comfortable around it, and you probably assume there is some healing abilities to it, but it does not seem to be enough to spread the poison that has now fully encased the lower half of the half-elf, sorry. The herbalist prepares the mixture with those herbs that you have provided him, and not long after, you see him administrating that antidote to the headmaster, Nilovar. And let me put Nilovar on the map so you can see. Put the name as well so you are able to see. And not a second goes after before he starts coughing, and you see as if instantly the infestation starts to weaken in size and almost disappear as Nilovar starts coughing blood. The people put some blankets and some clothing in front of him, and as the half-elf calms down, he turns his eyes towards you in a very dazed fashion. Say, "Who are you?" Before he collapses back into the bed. Artosis seems very intrigued by that reaction and even happy. "Oh, it worked. He must be exhausted. Let's give him some time.
That was quite a bit of bloody coughed up. He's gonna need cover.
Please, follow me. So we give Nilovar enough time for him to rest.
We should give him some time. But, well, I suppose we should give him a couple hours or even a day.
You
That's a good word as well. The headmaster
You're
is been killed.
are more than welcome to wait with me here. I'll stay for the night in the School of Magic. It is only fair that those that benefited the headmaster do the same. I'm sure, after all, you have your own reasons for helping him aside of your goodwill. And I do appreciate your gesture, but I cannot repay you from what you've done. But I will let you know whenever Nilovar is ready to talk, to be the first persons, the first people that he talks or interacts with.
Aye. Well, if that's the case, do we want to knock out getting some supplies for the next trip?
I suppose supplies would be the best way to do it, yes.
Are you moving on so soon?
Well, as soon as we get the information we need, we have somebody else to save.
Is it that human that you brought together with you?
A family member of his, yes.
Do you know what's troubling him?
Beats me, but the headmaster might know, and the best thing we can do is at least take him to be with her.
I mean, I'm not expert in the ways of the Arcane as the headmaster, as Nilovar is, but I've spent most of my time in here with the books. If there is something in those books that can help the family of that young man, I might be able to assist.
Oh, from what we've been told, his sister, some sort of affliction that prevents her from waking up normally, and she just keeps growing weaker and weaker.
Is it, what is the nature of this affliction? Do you know anything about it? How did it start? When did it start?
Valeros is in the room with us, right?
Oh, I thought he was right outside. I don't think he has much of a business inside this building, but I'll assume that he's in there, and he will start to say, I do not know how that started, but after one day that my sister went to get some, I'll say, particular herbs from the nearby swamp, she got afflicted by, I don't know if it was a stinger or if it was an odor, but something came with her from the swamp. After that, she spent every night restless, screaming in agony, in pain. Her body grew weaker, you could see it in her eyes, black eyes, tired. She could not even eat at some point. It was in very dire state. Huh. He then turns a look towards the rest of you. Please excuse me for a while. I think I have an idea of what that might be. Artosis leaves the room and heads on for the library, leaving you alone for a moment. Not many moments passed before he returns with a book. And he says, though it is highly unlikely that this is the case, but if there is no stinger on poison, this is the only way that magic could work. And he puts on a book, and as you see it down, you see a triangle, you see ugly faces, you see hats, and he say, these are old myths and tales, but they are sure all right. They say a powerful hag can not possess but haunt certain people, haunt them until their very living essence succumbs and falls. When that happens, they take the soul of the creature. Does that look like something that she could run in the swamp? And as you all turn your attention to Valeros, you see him shrugging off and putting his hands right up in the open without knowing. How do you deal with this, hag? He asked. Well, that is a very hard thing to do, Arthos said. I don't know if there is anything that can help you. If she is still alive, though, you will need blessings and somebody to watch over her every night until those hunting stops. Only by being protected by magical barriers you can mitigate or even neglect the said hauntings. He then turns and looks at you, trying to insight on how you're reacting to all those news.
Well, it looks like we're going hag hunting. Well, that should be interesting.
Very true.
I'll advise against it. It is very dangerous for you to do so. And if you ask me, it is quite something that not many are able to accomplish. Probably is better if you just... And he looks at Valeros and you put some magical barriers to protect your sister from that vile creature. Do you know much about hags? He turns to the rest of you.
Nothing at all.
No, but why would somebody... Why would a hag do that? Why would... I don't understand why.
But there are many different creatures that haunt either places, objects, or even people. But a hag, particularly this powerful, is a very vile one and one not to be messed with. I do not understand. The notes are not very decisive here, not very conclusive. I do not have the full depth of this knowledge, but from what I can say, it is that they do it for their own gains. They try to corrupt and manipulate the creature with their hauntings.
Oh, gosh.
But if it's their corruption, surely getting rid of them would end it. Valeros, do you know of any hags in your area?
No, I never knew something like that. I've never heard of anything like that. The swamps are a vile place for sure, but I've heard rumors about hags, not in my places, but tales. You know, what they say to children like us. eat your food or the hug will get you, stuff like that. But never have I ever heard of an actual sighting. To that, Arthos will reply, that would be quite common since they do not tend to appear in their normal form. Powerful hugs as such could appear in many disguises, even pretty ones. These are all creatures of the land of magic, the Feywild. Creatures that are polar opposites of this plane. While the dryads and the nymphs and the nereids are all manifestations of beauty, hags are the exact opposite. They are manifestations of ugliness, cruelty, and malevolence.
Wow.
I guess we should wait for Nilovar to awake, so you can have your questions, right?
Oh, all right. He might even. Suppose there's at least a chance that he could help us deal with the hag if he is capable and he recovers.
Valeros turns to you and says, if it is okay with you, I'll like a moment for myself. I'd like to think. I'll be right outside. I am not gonna leave.
Aye, that's fine.
It's good. It's a lot to take in.
And Valeros walks out of this place. To what Arthoses will move towards you, and he will say, I do not know the full extent of the story, but these creatures do not only haunt, they do not haunt harmless or innocent people. They try to haunt the best of the best, the most noble souls, and try to corrupt them into malevolence. I didn't want to say that in front of the human, since he is attached, but there is probably something fishy going on. What do you know of all this? He turns to Valentinius and Hart. That Madeline is AFK at the moment.
He asked what we know about what?
Do you know much about his the sister that he's talking about?
No, we should all know.
Not much.
They do not see, from what I read, they do not try to haunt random peasants, random commoners. This is not something that the hags tend to do.
Aye. So there's a reason behind it. So
Well, they say that if one creature dies under the influence of such nightmares, such hauntings, and his soul is entirely of evil, then that soul is trapped, and Hag claims it.
Gosh, I don't know anything about any of this.
well, it seems our best bet is the hag. And
Right.
even if we save his sister, we can't let it continue taking other people's souls.
You're right. In fact, if this hag is going around doing this, and that's just what it does, and it's what did you say, the antithesis of this plane, then who knows what else it might get up to. And if we take care of it, maybe that will release Valero's sister from pain. But at the same time, gosh, maybe this hag is running around putting a bunch of curses on people. Who knows what other good we might be doing but I want to make sure that we could take on such a thing. I don't want to be stupid.
I think, as I said, these are all speculations. I do not know if that is for sure a hug. I hope it is not the case. But from what you described to me and the knowledge that is in those holes, this is the only reasonable thing that I could come to think. Even if I know reasonable is not the quite the word for it. I'll go make some herbal drinks to keep you up all night. If Nilovar wakes up in the moment, I'll let you know. Do you want to speak to him altogether, or do you want to do at your private time? I suspect you have questions, each and every one of you.
Well, I do have a few questions I would like to ask him.
If you need to ask it in private, that's fine.
Doesn't need to be in private.
Okay, so for now, Arthosis leaves again, trying to prepare something for you to drink to keep you up during the time that Nilovar is regaining his strength, regaining his powers. You all take not watches, but you exchange some hours. You sleep on the chairs, wait a little bit. You can even go out to Valeros if you want to talk to him for some reason. You have the floor to yourselves for now.
I'll go waiting. It's night time, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
I'll talk to Valeros.
Okay, so Madeleine, you go out and you see Valeros looking at the sky and with his hands clutching his chin right now, unsure of what is going on. He sees you and says, "Hey, see, I didn't leave. Told you."
We're gonna have to equip you if we're gonna fight a hag, won't we?
There is no way that my sister is being haunted by a creature as vile as a hag. Why? Why would she be? Why would that be the case? She never hurt a soul. She would never hurt a hug, that is for sure.
Maybe. But even then...
That might be precisely why the hag is after her, though.
What do you mean by that?
The hag... What we've been able to learn, hags seek to corrupt pure and noble souls, turn them to evil and malevolence. And if they can do that before the victim ultimately passes away.
Well, sure, my sister is a noble soul, I'll say. Well, she's not the most noble person out there, but she's a very good and fine lady. But I would never imagine her becoming or being turned evil, especially in that weakened state. Even if she wanted to do something bad, she would not be able to do so.
You know, Valeros, and she'll take it. Mel will take like a seat next to him. I can kind of understand where you're coming from. I've got a sister myself, and I never thought she would leave, go off on the world, or just do what she does, but she has. Now, maybe it's a good thing because she's put me on this path that I am now, and maybe her tendencies will result in more good in the world from me. But I suppose it wouldn't be corruptible. The point is, regardless of whatever's wrong with her, be it a hag or be it an illness, we'll just have to figure it out.
These are all many things that I have to take and process in a very short amount of time. I'm not exactly sure on how to deal with all this.
Hi. Welcome to being a sibling with this kind of stuff going on. It's always best to hit the ground running.
And you see that he's almost like jogging in place. He's not moving, but he's getting pumped. He's getting ready for the fight. Say, do go on. Tell me more. Help me get away, escape. Tell me more about your sister.
Oh, well, Madrid is technically 5 years older than me, but I think we've reversed that. But she's a lot taller. I would used to say she was about a foot taller, but I think now it's just about 10 inches or so. But she was very doting when we were younger. Very caring. She was very much the kind of sibling you would rely on, call upon if someone was picking on you, and that's what she did. Though she was a bit excessive. I remember one boy that used to tease me, and she broke his arm. She never heard the end of that. And
that's an interesting story. It really sounds similar but quite reversed. In that case, my sister is you. I am the elder brother and the big sister and the one that protects the other.
though, to be fair, she didn't go off to find herbs, but the thing about that is, though, is I guess if you were to say you dropped off a bit, and she kind of like motions with her hands, like going down a little bit, like if you were to drop off doing what you did, lying and attacking, she Madeline then puts like her hand all the way on the ground. Madrigal's gone this far down. And she's always been angry, but now, last I saw her, she wasn't really my sister anymore. At least to me. And I'm hoping I can pull her out of herself.
Oh. Well, getting to know all of you, and he turns towards Hearth as well, seeing that he's there as well, it makes me think a little bit more about what I've done and how I've wronged you. And I feel more like a dick towards you.
As you should, but forgive and forget.
Forgive, but never forget. He turns towards you, Madeline said. I'm forgiven, but I'm not forgotten. I may be forgiven, but I'm not forgotten how you guys first kicked my ass and then managed to accompany me here and probably even saved all our lives in the process. I think we have gone with those herbs back there and just shoved them into my sister's mouth. I don't think that would have ended very well.
No, but at the very least, we're going to bring you back home. And hey, maybe I'll just lose sight of you when we get there.
Let's get there first. We shall talk about that. Inside the School of Magi, Valen and Talios reside, and at some point, Artosis will come to reward you, wake you up, and say, Nilovar is awake. If you want to talk to him, he's struggling, but he should be fine answering questions.
Perfect. Yeah, let's go. Come on. Get the others.
Alright.
Okay, going out and informing the rest of the headmaster's situation. Valen, Madeline, Talius, and Hearth, all of you continue and meet up with Nilovar, the half-elf that is probably more than 300 years old by now, but it's still here quite elder for a half-elf, as you can see, for his white hair. And he turns towards you and say, I was informed that it was 4 people that saved me. I'll assume those people are you. I thank you. How did you find me? How did you save me?
Well, first you were in a kobold cave with other prisoners. You were unconscious, poisoned. We tried to fix you. We don't know. We don't really know what the poison was still at this point. We left to the monastery of the Green Mist. Then we got some herbs, brought it back. And we're kind of here right now. We're still not entirely sure where you were going or what happened to you.
I do not remember any kobolds or any sightings as such. And he picks up his head, puts his hand against his forehead, and seems to be a little bit. I remember seeing a black hood, multiple of them, humans. They had some weird, almost. I cannot remember the sign, but it seemed sinister and ritualistic. They were all adorning black colors upon them, and they were moving somewhere near there in the northern of the Mellow Woods. I'm not entirely sure what. One of them spotted me. I got an arrow to my hip, and he shows you his wound. And then darkness. I remember none of it.
That's quite
While
the
I
poison
was-
for a group of...
While I was passing out, I heard movement around the bushes. Something was coming my way. I'm not sure. I wake up here after all, almost as if nothing has happened, yet I feel very weakened.
You said it was just humans in these black hoods?
I didn't get a good gaze at them. They could be humans, they could be half-elves, they could be even half-orcs on the not on the tall side, but they were on that height.
And where did this happen exactly?
It was a little bit northern of the Mellow Woods. I was on the trade route, and when I left from the Midway Inn, in the between the inn and the woods, that was where I saw them. They were heading for the mountains. I remember that.
After we take care of Valeros' sister, this might be something worth looking into. but
He starts getting a little bit better idea of his surroundings, starts gazing towards all of you, and he looks at you, Madeline, and says, "Do I? You look familiar. Do I know you?"
not me personally, but there's someone who looks a lot like me. Madrigal Dunmar?
Huh. Yes, I remember that name. I remember Madrigal.
You do? And she
A
kind of
little
gets
bit. We were not that close, but I did help him on some very interesting reading. He was asking about. I seem to have forgotten. I'll try to think of it. What was it? He was inquiring about something, needing to know about something.
Do you know how long ago it was that she was here?
Well, how many days have been passed out since you guys found me?
Well, since we found you, I'd say it's been about a week at least.
Could be. That's all ballpark, but it could be between something between two circles, full circles of the moon. That would be months, somewhere between 2 months.
That's not that long ago.
He was here. I still have to. I don't remember what he was looking for.
Of course, don't hurt yourself thinking about it. Do you know which way she went?
I know she went northern, back into the capital, maybe. Not sure about that. Something like that.
Two birds with one stone, then. Thank you. If you can remember anything, let me know. I'm her sister. I'm looking for her, and she'll kind of motion to everyone else. Everyone else here has questions as well.
If I can be of any use. He motions towards the rest of the group.
Gosh, well, first off, it's very nice to meet you. I'm Valen.
Hi, Valen.
I'm keenly interested in any sort of knowledge you might have. If there's books or scrolls, or clay tablets about celestial creatures. I seem to be running into things lately, and I'd like to learn more about celestial creatures. Not the type that run around, look like people with wings, but more like mythical beasts and creatures like that. If you'd happen to have any books or knowledge that you could point me to, or a sage, perhaps, I'd really appreciate it.
Well, we do not have a church or a temple in this city, but I'm pretty sure if you venture eastern into towards Anarith, towards the capital, there is a shrine devoted, Red Fox Station, divided to the main god. Many Red Knights know about the nature of those celestial beings. We are more practitioners of magic rather than knowledgeable people.
Well, I appreciate that very much. I'll take that advice. The other thing is,
Is there continue.
I say we're we seem to be on a path lately where we see ourselves in strange encounters with creatures, both mundane and spectral and ghostly, just all kinds of things. We're always, of course, on the lookout for something that could help us, any sort of assistance, but we've also heard about this Duskblade thing, and we've got this little map. I don't know if it's any good. Do you know anything about...
Where did you find this?
Our friend, Valeros, our acquaintance, Valeros, he happened upon it. Also, I recall some of the legends of the Duskblades, but there some type of vault or something was rumored to be around. I don't know if you know anything about that.
This vault that you say, I've heard of it many times in the past. Many people have come to Cinderfall. They all say that it is Pendrar's vault, where he hid his marvelous treasures and grand acquirings. But this doesn't seem like to be the case. After all, this map, the origins go way back behind the legend of Pendrar, millennia ago even. During the years that Cinderfall has been, people always theorized that the vault was or is linked with the legend of this place. It is unknown if Pendrar did found that vault and made it his personal one, or if that vault is a whole different story. Both of those legends tend to mix with each other sometimes, but it is only rumors from treasure hunters. No one has ever found that vault. Nobody has a clue on its whereabouts.
Are you good at reading maps?
If I can try once I get some rest more.
Sure.
I think I'll be able to help you out deciphering the clues.
Oh, definitely get some rest. Yes.
Thank you for trying. But if that is the map, that is a map. That is the symbol of the Duskblade. Then it should not be apart from each other. This, and he kind of turns a little bit. I can understand from this gate, this passage, that it means that it's something hidden, almost like a waterfall protects it. That gate, it says over here.
Gosh, well that's helpful right there, buddy. I'll let you rest, and thanks very much, Nilavar, for your time.
However, I can't help. He then turns his attention towards Hart, I'll say, and then I'll do Darius.
Well, originally I was going to ask about Pendra. I've learned quite a bit about him lately. For now, just anything you know about planar travel? Places where I could learn about how traveling between planes?
Well, that is something that I'm not entirely familiar. But I believe I have a book in my personal room up further into the school. I'll ask Kartosis to fetch it. It is written by Kandor Orvir, the great planewalker. you, as he says that name, I'll say aside of Hearth, Valen, Madeline, and Talius all have heard of that name. Kandoronovir is a great planewalker, an elf planewalker that has contributed much and has even made the hourglass cosmology model that I'm using on this world. I'll put it as a handout for the next week. I do not have much, but I did manage to get a copy from a friend in the capital. It is a very interesting thing to read, but I'm afraid if you're looking for ways to travel the planes, that I cannot really help much. Shall I give you some knowledge about them, though?
That is fine. It was a bit of a long school of evocation, not conjuration.
That is precise. You are. Forgive me, I thought I was dazed before. I thought you were an Eladrin for a second, but your ears seem more human-like. You are what they call a Genasi, am I right?
From the plane of fire.
Well, many people say that Pendrar was connected to the plane of fire. He scorched the beings with his fire, and he was a master of flames. Maybe that's why you're here.
Yes. There was reasons I first became interested in him.
See? And he turns towards Talius. Steven, you there?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
Uh,
I'll assume you have questions as well.
well, really, I'm looking for a friend of mine. Also, about the magic and all, but I was wondering if you ever heard of a man named Sanis move through this way?
That does not strike familiar. That does not sound familiar. Was he one of your kind?
Yes, he was a sea elf, just like me.
I do not remember seeing a sea elf in Cinderfall. Might be wrong, but I do not think I've seen anyone. What is so particular about him?
Well, he was my mentor. He's taught me most of the things that I know. The rest I've kind of learned on my way, but he was very important to me. Important to my my people as well. I've also been learning a bit of magic on this side. It's I don't know how to explain it. It's quite similar to what I presume people like you would do, but I mean, if you have any advice or any help you could give me, that would always be appreciated.
Well, I might not be a master of what you're describing myself. I do take pride in the power and mastery I have over the Education School of Magic. But what you're probably looking for is something that is not meant for people like me. You seem more like a fighter.
That is true, yes.
Yes, I somehow have to thank you all for what you've done, and it might not be enough, but I'll go look in my personal safe. I believe I have something that you will enjoy reading. From where most elves come from, not in the bottom of the sea though. The so-called paladins, the people that have the virtue over elven kind and admire magic as much, are also known as sword mages. and the more elite of them are known as blade singers.
It's very interesting.
Cinderfall is near the borders of Unearth and the Elvenland, though to be fair, if you go western from here, you'll probably find more dragons than elves. More dragonborn than elves. But a long friend of mine found his way and sent me a book. It is not much, but it may be able to assist you. You might learn a whole new thing about the way that your race fights while in land.
Well, I appreciate that a lot. Thank you for the help.
I'll go find it. When I'll ask Artosis, I mean.
Of course.
And he then turns towards all of you. Is there anything else I can help you with? I'd like to take some rest before I instruct Artosis to do my biddings.
Anyone else?
No, rest as you need.
I'll give you more information when my head is in the right place, when my head is clear. Thank you.
You as well.
Artosis enters the room and they have a little chat about that. And I believe, being the night, and since you have gone quite fast today, I believe I'm going to end the session here.